don't you just ruminate whilst I illuminate the possibilities? Well, Alibaba had them 40 thieves.
Welcome back to the Curious Canvas. We are your hosts, Jem and PK. Today we are on episode 10. Yeah, we got the claps involved. Today's a special episode because today we actually got guests and features. So we have Sydney-based photographer Elton Sa, aka Bigaruta, creative, as well as model actress Chelsie Robertson.
Hello, hello.
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
And today's top, and we are, we are recording at Bella Vista Hotel podcast studio.
Yes, we are. Yeah.
Did I say that already?
At the hills.
That's
yeah.
it? Yeah, we are. Yeah.
We're at the hills.
Yeah. So today's topic, we're talking about Mulan, and all four of us have different opinions on it. So that's the reason why today's a special episode. It's plus 10. So you guys have all watched the film, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yes.
We have.
How'd you guys like it?
And recently I've also watched the 1998 cartoon Disney version.
The OG version? The OG version?
Yes.
How'd you feel without Mushu and the songs as well?
Mushu was still around in the new one because you see signs of the Phoenix.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's still there in spirit, but I do miss Mushu.
I like what you said. You know what? I actually like how you just said that. As in, it's in spirit.
Yeah.
I personally wouldn't think the same thing, but I like that though. How about you guys? Chelsie?
Yeah, I liked it. I really liked it. I don't know, like I get the, you know, why some people might miss Mushu. I get why, because he brings like the charisma, like, you know, he's funny, he's very charismatic, he's like the genie in Aladdin. He's like,
He brings the humor.
he brings the humor.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I'm thinking of it in a director's perspective. You can, if you're being given a film, are you going to make it the same as the original that everyone loves, that you can't compare, or are you going to make it your own? Are you going to be creative? And so what if it scares people? So what if it might turn, you know, a lot of stories and, you know, so what? It was kind of, I liked it. I generally liked it. But there is some points in there that was like...
I get what you mean with that. Like, it is a valid point because Lion King itself, from the original to the remake, it was literally...
Shot by shot.
Shot by shot.
Mm-hmm.
But with the whole, you know, you call it? Like the new animation.
The live action,
The
live action.
And it just didn't feel...
It didn't feel authentic. Oh, no, authentic.
And plus
It looks like the like real animals.
Yeah,
so you
but
kind of just like, you're watching a documentary.
Yeah.
And I think that
channels.
And I think that's the reason. I think that's also another reason why Aladdin was the remake of Aladdin got so big, because they changed a lot of things in the film, but still kind of kept the heart of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's why that's why I think a lot of people loved Aladdin a lot more, like out of all the remakes.
Yeah.
Mulan wise, when you say like the directors being brave and everything, I don't know, because they've made different remakes before with Mulan.
Yeah.
So I get where you're coming from there. They made one that was in 2009, a Chinese remake. You've watched it before too.
I've only stumbled upon it. I haven't actually
seen
watched
that.
it. I also thought I saw that there was Mulan 2 as well.
Oh, like the OG version?
The OG version.
Oh yeah.
And then there's the new one which came out this year.
Yeah. I don't know, like with the remake, I like it, and I do like it, but there's a lot of things that were missing on it that it didn't feel like a Disney film. So when you say be brave, I get that, but at the same time they aren't remaking a Disney film though.
Yeah. You always have to consider, you know, they're making a Disney film. You know, they have to stick to the. Yeah, I get all that. But at the same time as well, I don't know. I liked it. I didn't think much of it. I enjoyed the movie. Like, it was a good warrior. Like anyone can consider it like a, you know, like it was a good warrior film. I like the women empowerment a lot in there. Like how they bring the two birds, the phoenix and the eagle. This is going to include a lot of spoilers.
No, that's cool. It's a spoiler alert. Spoiler
alert. Yeah, I like the two eagles. I like how, like, I've noticed like a lot of Disney films as well. They're bringing in a lot of villains, and they're turning the villains into, like, not like, for example, I was talking to Jem about this the other day. Black Panther, and how they've kind
Killmonger.
of yeah.
Yeah.
What's
Killmonger?
Michael B. Yeah, I don't know. I
Michael,
don't
yeah,
know.
that's the character.
Mi-
Michael B. Jordan plays Killmonger.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so he, you know, he's been brought out as this bad character, but then you see the different side in him, and it's like the same thing as Maleficent. Maleficent, how, you know, the villain is always perceived as bad, but there's always two sides to a story, and
There's reasons why she's doing this. Like with
Yeah.
like with Killmonger, I guess because you know he's obviously lived in America and he's had so much hate up in his upbringing. That's the reason why
He's the way he is.
Yeah, that's the way he's
Exactly.
the way he is.
Yeah.
So you kind of understand it, even though like obviously it's still a movie, so there has to be extreme points in it. But it makes sense why they're pushing that though. Yeah. That's what I liked about this film too. Like, one great like there are things that I don't like about it, but the things I do love about it, the villains were amazing. Yeah, I loved. Was it Jason Scott Lee? I don't know if you guys watched it. Do you remember like that bio movie with Bruce Lee?
No.
No.
Really, you guys ever watched
Maybe.
Bruce Lee? Bruce Lee.
Maybe I
Anyway,
have.
it was the one that like it was made in America. It was like it got pretty big like
Yeah,
back
yeah,
in like
yeah,
the
yeah.
2000s. Anyway, so I loved him in it, and the witch probably was my favorite character of the whole Mulan because
Agreed.
yeah,
too,
because
me
like
too.
you look at the costume design, you could see kids
Yeah.
like playing that or like just dress up to Halloween and stuff.
Yeah.
The way
Production.
production
Production.
value amazing. Also, this is crazy. I thought she was gorgeous by the way because she's 54. She's
I
54.
know.
Yeah, she's a very famous Chinese actress as
Oh,
well.
is she?
But she
Oh.
obviously you can tell by her accent she's not fully Americanized, so she wasn't like fully in the Hollywood industry. But she's killed it in the Chinese film.
Yeah.
Wow.
And judging and on the back of I guess her costume and everything, I feel like in the new Mulan there's a lot more supernatural themes compared to the old one. So if you think about it, the old one was just a cartoon. They could have went crazy with it, which is why Mushu was in there, right? Because you could have a fictional character.
Yeah.
But now, because it's a live action, they got to incorporate more CGI
Yeah.
or more, I guess, fictional themes to I guess adapt to the lack of Mushu,
Yeah.
Okay.
if that makes sense.
Do you-
No, definitely.
With the
No.
So with your point there, why do you think even with all the special effects, why do you think they didn't include Mushu in your eyes?
I think there needs to be a difference. Like what Chelsie touched on before, this idea has already been brought out to the audience.
Yeah.
And it was Disney in the first place as well. So after, let's say, 12 years, I mean, we have all these technological advancements. We can do so much with videography. And they've taken a stab at the modern version of what Mulan should be. I think which is why a lot of the concepts and certain scenes in there were different compared to the old one.
Yeah.
Let's say the first scene when it starts off, Mulan was introduced as someone that's practicing a sword rather than someone that's doing chores before. And in the second scene, you see her chasing a rooster
Yeah.
and
Chicken?
a chicken rooster.
One of those.
Either one of those. And you kind of see that she's got this talent / ability of being a warrior.
Yeah.
But it's a dishonor because a female back in the days in the Chinese history,
Would you say back in the days or even still now?
even still now,
Wow.
there's
Any-
there's bound to be inequality, but it's much better now
In
because
Chinese culture,
in
right?
Chinese culture
Yeah.
because of the influence of other cultures as well. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You can't. I mean, they're a communist country, but you can't always be not. I guess not exposed to other cultures and
Oh, yeah,
not
right,
try and absorb from them.
Sure.
If that makes
Yeah,
sense.
for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get that.
Yeah. What about you, Jam? How do you feel about the film?
At first, when I first watched it, and I think I told you guys I rated it like an 8 out of 10. And then I think I let it simmer for a few days. I'm not going to say other people's opinions influenced me, but there was, I'm not going to say that at all. And my ego's not going to allow that at the same time.
Okay.
But looking back, I'll give it a 6 out of 10. Only for the fact that from first glance, I thought the movie as a whole was great.
Yeah.
The movie at its
Like
own
production,
production,
Everything.
the,
Yep.
director, if you just watch it as a movie.
Yep.
But then if you put it together as a Disney movie,
That's
plus comparing it to old school 98 Mulan, it's a whole different ball game when you think of it that way. I think the build up of Mulan as a woman, like the story of her coming to her own and growing, it took too long in the movie. Or they didn't capture it. I reckon they captured it in the first movie in one song of Reflection.
Yes.
one song.
Yeah, 100%.
In one
Like-
song
Yes.
and the scenes of her going through everything in within
Yes.
4 minutes or 5 minutes of the movie,
Yeah.
of that song, they captured the essence of growing up and as a strong female character.
And what she wants to do to
What she
protect her
wants to do.
family as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
She had values.
Yeah.
Yes, the values
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
everything. What she wanted to perceive herself, or like what she was trying to do. It took too long in the movie, or it didn't even. It just didn't get
It
there
just
for
didn't
me.
happen.
Yeah,
For me, it
Or
didn't happen at
it
all.
just right.
Yeah.
Yeah. It just like it didn't happen in that way. But as a movie as a whole, it was great. I thought it was a good movie. But if you compare it to Mulan and 1998 version,
It's different.
it's different.
100%
Yeah,
different.
you're waiting.
Yeah.
You can hear the sound of Reflection in the background, just the music without the
Yeah.
lyrics. You can hear it, and you're just like, let her sing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's Disney.
Seriously.
You put it on
seriously.
Disney Plus, you make us pay $40. Oh wait, about that. At the same time,
Oh, okay, here we go. Here we go.
there's some
This
people
is-
pay for that. Some people paid for that. Some people here didn't pay for that. I'm not gonna name who. You can try and you guys can decide on who paid and who didn't.
I definitely did not pay.
I 100% did pay. 100% did pay. We're gonna have this conversation.
Yes, we will.
We're gonna have this conversation,
will.
Colby. Yep, because
But-
you do it.
It is Disney Plus, where we are already paying a fee of $9 or so a month, and they didn't add a song for Disney, and it's Disney. Disney's always known to be a
Singing,
music.
singing, yeah.
Disney, the Disney has a.
Yeah.
It's Disney. The branding of Disney is like
Yes.
No, well, I said,
childhood and love and just the feeling of inspirational through song, and it just wasn't there, and you're just like, maybe you should have released the Mulan and put it on Netflix then. I don't know.
No, you know what was messed up. So what I said this to Chelsie earlier. So I said like maybe they just didn't maybe they were just looking for a more serious actor, or they didn't get an actor that didn't sing. And then she just like, then why didn't they hire like an Asian
Yeah,
singer?
yeah.
If there's so many Asian singers out there who can act.
But that's
What
the
is
thing.
the-
I think that's the thing that they were trying to go for is more of a serious, like more
Serious,
of a
that's
more
what-
of a realistic, more of a realistic like
Tone.
rather because if they wanted, like, it's Disney, if they wanted
sure
to,
they
if
would.
they wanted it to be a musical, like a Disney film, they would 100% just grab all the singers out there and the
For
you
sure.
know
How many
and-
people are there in China right now? I'm
that,
sure
that
they'll
can
buy-
sing,
Too
that
many.
can sing.
And how many like Chinese people live in America that could sing in Broadway right
Yeah.
now?
Yeah,
No,
yeah,
100%,
100%.
100%.
That
reason
was
they
the
could've
tone
done
that they were going
Yeah,
for. But
sure they would've-
I do wish that they at least
One.
like as much just one song.
Two.
Like there was this one bit in the movie that I really was hoping for her to just be like express herself and be like, oh, like there was this once when she got kicked out of the boot camp, like when she got kicked out and then she was on top of that hill and she was crying and she was just like wishing, and then the phoenix was over the top of her head, like her and just trying to give her that strength, like
Yep.
that was a time where she could have literally sung and
Yep.
Yeah.
but they didn't. They didn't.
Yeah.
And we were waiting for it and they just didn't. So
Yeah.
at least one song. That's what I was.
Especially because like Reflection and BMN are so
BMN.
two
Exactly.
huge songs.
Exactly.
Like everybody knows. It doesn't matter if you're Asian or what nationality you are. Everyone knows BMN.
Yeah.
It's crazy that they would miss it out. I mean, like you look at what they did with Jungle Book remake. They had their versions of singing, but they still sung. It wasn't
Yeah.
the greatest, but they still had
Do-
their versions of it.
Do you think that Disney is trying to grow up as well?
Yeah. See, that's another thing that I was gonna say, Elton, as well.
What
I-
else have they released recently?
Then you know
There's
what?
Aladdin. There's all the live action hits, and to be honest, like the live action hits that they've released, like for example, Lion King, like there was a lot of negative feedback on that as well. Like
But Aladdin did
So-
have a lot of music.
They
as
they
well,
did, but
so-
they do have darker tones though. I think as
They
what
added
as what you were saying with growing up, I think they are trying to have a more adult tone in the movies.
Yes.
Like you look at Alice in Wonderland with the remake of that.
Yeah.
If you watch when they remade it with Johnny Depp,
Yeah.
that has a lot of
A
darker
lot of-
tone. That's not.
I know. Yeah.
I mean, like
yeah.
don't get me wrong. Like they both, if you watched it on something,
Yeah.
you'd definitely be in a trip zone there. but same time, it's still darker though.
Or
Yeah,
maybe
it is.
that was a good point. Or they know that everyone that was watching Mulan or was in love with Mulan in 1998 would be in their 20s and 30s now, so they'll just really put it for us now.
I
don't know.
personally blame Lion King. You know why? no, because
Put everything on that. I don't care.
Because Lion King was shot for shot.
Shot for shot.
And like, so they thought like, all right, you know what? People will judge a new Lion King. So you know what? We're gonna do shot for shot, but like what you were saying, Discovery Channel, like as in like the way it looks. I'm like, so we're gonna do shot for shot, so no one can complain. But then what happened next
Everyone
minute?
complained.
Everyone
Exactly.
still complained, and Beyonce as Nala, like what is that? You know, like
It has
anyways.
no. But the film had everything that we should love. Like they
But we
had,
didn't. Yeah.
yeah, it had everything that we should love, but then we didn't. I mean, freaking Mufasa came back from the original, and still didn't please everyone.
Yeah.
But then I think as a whole, the whole world is different again compared to what they were 10, 15
couple
years ago.
Yeah.
You know, our perceptions are different as well. You know, but that's a whole other topic, right?
Yeah. Well, like I mean, like all right. So even going on from that, when you look at I personally feel like sometimes in this film, certain things that they were scared of doing.
Yeah.
Because they didn't want to offend anyone. Obviously, like Chinese culture, they didn't want to offend anybody there. But even just like if you actually, so I watched the OG version last night, right? There was a lot of cross-dressing references, so much, like as jokes and everything.
Yes.
I think they didn't want to offend.
A lot of things.
Yeah, I don't think they want to offend those people as well. Yeah. So I felt like they were trying to tiptoe with certain aspects of the film.
Yes. I agree with you.
I agree
and I
too.
think because especially it's Disney, a westernized a westernized industry, I should say.
Hollywood, yeah.
They try and make more Chinese themes apparent. So if you guys realize the Phoenix is red and
Yes.
so Mushu being replaced, and that's a big symbol of rebirth.
Yeah.
Once her identity as a soldier dies, Mulan came out and she went on the battlefield wearing red. Did you guys realize that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's her reborn
Wow.
as a new soul.
You know what? I don't even pick that up, to be honest. I'm not. Yeah, that's pretty good. Yeah.
Symbolism
So
is the-
symbolism
the
is
theme.
very heavy in the new one, in the new Mulan. Although I read that Mulan was an original Chinese tale anyway.
Yeah.
But in the old 1998 cartoon version, it's like they didn't even need to try, and you could see all the Chinese themes. It was just there. It was bang, pop in your face. Whereas this one, I feel like they had to go out of their way to really emphasize those
Yeah.
kind of those traits.
Yeah,
if you
yeah,
will.
definitely.
It's not a bad thing, but it's just some people may see it as being overdone. I don't know. I
Yeah.
thought it was pretty smart.
Me
You know,
too, me
those
too.
symbolism and everything.
Yeah. No, I get that.
That's why going back to a movie as a whole, it was great
Yes.
Yes.
because the symbolism was there. All the little details were there in that way for any other movie. If it was just a movie that was released, we never knew what Mulan was in '98.
Yes, exactly. So
the
if
details are there, the symbolism and the themes.
that's right,
They're
I don't
all
think
there.
if I watched the cartoon version and I watched the 2021 first, I would have loved it.
Yeah.
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 You know, yeah, I can agree with that.
Yeah.
So, what do you like about the film then? So, like, well, obviously, you said like as a whole, what did you like specifically in the film?
I liked. I enjoyed the actress that played Mulan. She was good.
Me too.
She played it very well.
I'm not gonna agree with that, but I get where you're coming from though. The only reason why I don't agree with her, one reason, I felt like when you watched, all right, you know when you watch Aladdin, the cartoon version, if you remove Genie, I don't like Aladdin. If you remove Mushu,
Why?
no, wait. But when you watch the OG version of Mulan, if you remove Mushu, I still love Mulan.
Yeah,
Like,
Mulan
That's
as a
true.
character.
Because Mulan's a great character.
The character is still good. And when, while watching the OG version, there's a lot of scenes when Mushu's not in it, and it's just Mulan, and you still find it interesting. It's just her and the horse, and you still find it interesting. With this, they removed Mushu and the music, and it's more focused on the actress.
It's just
I'm
the
not
actress.
like I'm not saying she did a horrible job. She didn't do a horrible job. I just don't think it lived up to the OG version.
Yeah, of course.
And
that,
I get that, I
that,
get
that
that.
goes back to what we just said previously. As a if we just watch it as the movie, and like you just brought it back to comparing it to the '98 Mulan,
yeah, I did. Yeah.
Yeah, I get that.
that it changes everything. But as a movie as a whole, I thought she was great because it did have a more serious tone compared to the animation, and she did play a great role. She wasn't as actiony,
Yeah.
but she did pull out bring out that very strong female character.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you compare it to the '98 Mulan and her laughing around with Mushu and laughing around doing different things and how she would toy around with the boys when she's
Yeah.
just kicking back
Yeah.
with the boys and
Yeah.
they're just
Yeah.
laughing around.
Oh, you know what? You know what?
Yeah.
You know what my favorite scene was? My favorite scene was my favorite scene was, when they're still in the boot camp. And then they asked, like, what kind of a girl are you looking for? And then one guy just like, oh, I love a girl with this shit.
Of course you'd like that.
And then like the one guy's like, I love a girl that can cook for me. And then like she's just like, no, I'd love a girl that's like, what about you, Ping? And then like she said, I'd love a girl that's like smart, brave, courageous, strong.
And they all just
And
laugh.
no. Then one guy just like, sounds like you're talking about me. And I'm like, that was my favorite scene of the whole
Yeah.
movie.
That was funny.
The fight scenes weren't, I don't know, I felt like the fight scene, do you feel like the fight scenes were a bit vanilla? Like they were okay, but it wasn't like a typical Asian film. Like,
No.
I wanted like Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon type of like fighting. Or
I
like,
think we still got to keep in perspective that they're Disney at the end of the day. That's why in the first fight scene ever, when the witch came into the castle, started throwing stars shuriken, there was no blood spillage.
yeah, well that's, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think they still got to keep it a G-rated action film.
Yeah.
So the fight scenes would never be as good as,
But when you watch it, but even when if you like,
What about the Marvel movies do they get gory?
Not really.
Not really.
No, not
gory.
really. Not
You
really.
Even blood wise, I guess you don't really see
No,
that.
no,
Black
no,
Panther?
no.
Black
No,
Panther?
no. You just see punching and you just
What
see
about
like
stabbings
No,
and
you see
stuff?
stabs, but it's like the
But
stabs
there's no
there.
like full blood.
But you don't see like the blood like squirt out or anything.
Yeah.
Like Chinese movies, just
Yeah. Like it's not. It's like
Yeah.
you see a slash and like blood just say hits the wall.
you
Kung-
get a
what's that,
slash here,
kung
but then
fu?
blood comes out of there. That's Chinese movies.
they just start laughing. What's that? Kung Fu, the soccer one.
Shaolin Soccer.
Shaolin.
Oh,
Stephen
bro.
Chow. We were literally talking about this other day.
yeah,
One of the
yeah.
best movies I've ever seen in my life.
Funny as me and
So-
Carl used
yeah.
to watch that. Fucking
Oh, wait, sorry. I know it's off topic, but Kung Fu Hustle or Shaolin Soccer?
Shaolin soccer, bro.
Shaolin
Oh,
Soccer.
really?
Shaolin
Yeah.
Soccer.
Almost.
I've
Yeah.
never seen any of it.
Nah,
We have to
good.
watch Shaolin soccer. That's funny.
It's the comedy of Chinese
Hustle's
movies that really gets me because in our language, especially in Mandarin, there are all these slangs you can call each other, bantering, and like it's hard to translate into Chinese. English.
Yeah.
But then, me as a kid that does understand a little bit of it, it's a great laugh.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a great laugh, and his humor, Stephen Chow's humor, is just a little bit over the top.
Yeah.
It's almost cringeworthy, but you're like, I get it. It's 1990s humor, you know.
Yeah.
Do you think Mulan did the remake? Do you think that did it justice, as in, especially for someone who's Chinese, or even like to a point? To a point.
What's the measurement of this justice? How do I measure this justice?
Obviously, look. I mean, as you were talking about Shaolin Soccer and how, like, obviously it's a Chinese film.
And the
Like,
banter.
yeah. So like that just sounds like so natural. And I know this film does feel forced, but are there some parts of the film that feel natural to you? As in, like, okay, I can kind of see that, or even
Yeah.
even like when you go like. Oh no, for me, like I don't. If I go to a Chinese friend's household, like, and let's say they speak Chinese, but then they go back to English because I'm there.
Yeah.
It's like okay, like kind of like that, as in like okay, there's still Chinese aspects, but it's just in English.
I get what you mean. I think so. I think it did do justice. I think with Mulan's dad, the whole parenting, that's very Chinese, especially the mom as well.
Yeah.
In the old Mulan, she had no sister. So the sister figure was definitely a great addition to the whole Chinese culture and everything, because siblings tend to be very, very close in the Chinese culture. I think the storyline in both resonated with the tale itself.
Yeah.
and it was original representation of the Chinese culture. So it definitely did do justice.
Got you. Reflecting on that though, like, all right, when I know we're going, I bounce back from all the remakes, but like with Aladdin, another reason why I love Aladdin, I love Jasmine
Me
because
too.
I felt like that was
She played an amazing Jasmine. Like
But,
she brought a different. Like, go.
No, you first.
No,
you
what
first,
were
you-
you gonna say?
No, I was gonna say like, just female empowerment.
Yeah,
Like,
it's 100%. Like you see it, like it's a consistent thing with Disney as well. Like it's just they're bringing out female empowerment. They're bringing out messages. They're bringing out like diversity. They're bringing out so many things that
It's today's world.
it's today's world. It's today's world, and it's either you accept it or you don't. And I don't know. Like it's just an
Yeah.
updated. Like it's just.
Exactly.
So my question is, how do you feel like the actress played Mulan? Like, did you feel the same empowerment as you did with Jasmine
Jasmine?
when you first watched it?
Oh. Okay, so with Milan, I knew for a fact that the eagle and the phoenix, how they brought the two birds in. I knew like the first meeting that they had, I think it was when they were at war, and then she ran away or something. Was that the first meeting? I don't know. Correct me if I'm wrong. Was it?
I think
The
it
first
was.
meeting?
I think it was. Yeah.
The first meeting, I knew for a fact that she was good, the eagle.
Okay.
Once they did that connection thing, and she didn't really hurt Mulan. Like she just flicked her around a bit and was like, you know, I know you're like,
You're like
I
me.
know you're like me. Yeah, you're like me. I knew for a fact that 100% it's going to be a female empowerment thing because one, they didn't make her have a love interest, and two, they just didn't like. You can just tell from the vibe that she is not about like you know, like princes and like, you know, back in the Disney films back then, like it was just all about princesses and princes, and it's like, yeah, and
Being
like
a wife
Yeah.
and finding the right
and
husband.
to finding true love, like it's just not, yeah, and that's what I really liked about Jasmine as well, is because like they did stick to, you know, Aladdin, but she also had her own character. She was an individual, like just she wants the throne. She doesn't want a guy, you know,
It was a lot
taking the
stronger
throne.
character, eh?
Strong.
Yeah.
Jasmine
Very
to,
strong.
to
Yeah,
the
She
animation
failed in it.
version.
Shout out Naomi Scott. She was such a good
Imagine you got
character.
witches, Naomi Scott.
She's amazing. I follow her on Instagram. She's so beautiful.
Yeah, she was.
She was good.
FYI, she was a Pink Power Ranger in the Power Ranger movie.
Yeah,
just
I
want to
love
put
her.
that.
Ah, nice. Good to know.
But I don't know. But she was a lot more.
She's English.
Get the London look.
Oh, here we
Bruv,
go.
Yeah,
bruv.
But just touching on
You had a little bit of an English accent when you just said that. Like, but just to touch on.
but just touching on that, I think both Milans heavily resonates with that theme that we all went through when we were in high school. I'm
Yeah.
not sure if you guys remember belonging. How
yes.
Did
How-
you do belonging in Perth?
What?
Did you do belonging in Perth?
Belonging?
For
Yeah.
HSC or like year 12 high school certificate?
I thought you meant like belonging, as in like belonging.
Yeah,
in
that's
a,
what I thought you
in
meant.
A,
Wait,
in a
wait,
school.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
so
Like-
so in high school, in Western Sydney
Year
High
12.
Schools, year 12,
New South Wales.
New South Wales, Sydney, Australia. We undertook English, and then we for our major, I guess, essay or assignment,
Theme.
we had to pick
theme.
a theme, and we had to study all these film and write an essay on it. And one of the biggest themes that most schools or majority schools did
Most
was
did.
belonging.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I heavily resonated with both of them, simply because she didn't belong in her community as
Yeah.
the fit wife or a match fit wife.
Yeah.
No, but then she ran away, and she found the band camp. Even though she didn't belong at first, it's through her experiences and her journey that she belonged,
Yeah.
and she became a part of it.
Yeah.
So I think at the end of the day, the message that Disney's trying to pursue from the first Mulan is still apparent in the new one as well.
Yes.
I can agree with that, but I think I'd word it differently. I'd say I looked at this Mulan as discovery and acceptance instead of like it's still in female empowerment, but that's how I more look at it. But I get that though.
Yeah. No, you know what? That's way better. Discovery and acceptance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was
I
it?
agree.
Was there something you didn't like? Like, was there something that you straight didn't like about the film? Like, for example, for me,
No singing.
it is that, but I don't know why. Like, I don't know for anyone else. for whatever reason, I love Jet Li. I love Jet Li. Like
Who's Jet Li again?
Jet Li. So he was the emperor in the film.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
he's
yeah.
the main guy.
Yeah.
The
And what annoyed me the most, and I don't.
Was
this is-
Jet Li the emperor?
Yeah.
I thought.
No.
I had no idea.
So
Like Jet Li.
yeah,
like,
Jet Li.
I actually
Bro,
thought he was just another random Asian guy.
There's a lot of legends in that film. Donnie Yen's in that film, man.
No, he's not.
Donnie Yen plays. He's not Captain Shang because they replaced Captain Shang. You know the captain in the film? That's Donnie Yen. How can like, Donnie Yen?
Oh my god, Ip Man.
Yeah.
Oh my god, Ip Man 5. Wow, so there's actually a lot of original Hong Kong casts being
Yeah.
invited to I guess.
Oh, I know what I did. Yeah. Go ahead.
I mean that's the one thing I love about this film. I guess I have no negative towards it if I don't compare it towards
Same.
the old Mulan.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Simply because obviously it was done better before, but because there's so much Asian representation of the
Yes,
Oh,
that's
that's-
another
yeah.
thing. That's another thing.
I'm ever
Crazy
so
Rich
proud,
Asians.
to be Asian. And after how successful Crazy Rich Asians was, I think the world just wants to see more of that and be
100%.
exposed. And why do you
Diverse,
think
yeah.
so much people like anime and like
Yes.
multicultural?
K-pop.
Yeah, K-pop. It's such a great time to be a Korean as well. Like
Yeah.
it's just appreciating other cultures.
Yes.
And I think Disney's definitely on point. with
Marvel,
that.
Shang-Chi.
Exactly.
Oh
right.
yeah, Shang-Chi. I can't wait for that film.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's. Yeah, no, 100%. I get that. So you were saying something?
Go ahead before you forget.
Yeah.
The guy. What's the guy's name?
Oh,
Remember I kept messaging you?
No. So all right, wait, I just put it in perspective. All right, so when I was watching it,
I
so,
feel bad if he watches this, but continue.
yeah. So I watched this like probably like I was about a half an hour behind you, so you were already watching it, and I'm like, so though there is somewhat of a love interest, somewhat. But I
like how she was like, wait, that guy that you
Yeah.
know I like how she was like at the end she was just like, no, like he showed some.
But I wouldn't
he
either.
showed.
No, I wouldn't either. You wouldn't know. If you were a girl, would you be like, would you go for him? No one would. He's a guy from Burwood. It's just no.
PK, that's just your opinion, my friend.
Like literally, that's no. Like Chelsea, if you saw him on a bridge and be like,
You're mean.
yeah, and like no,
No, you're
no.
mean.
It's like we should hang out and play board games. That's all it is. That's that type of conversation.
Catan Fridays.
Exactly. It's like, do you want to come back home? I'm like, no, I'm good.
I get that.
Gotta go home to see family. I'm all right.
Yeah, no.
Yeah,
But I
that-
like how she was like. That's another thing. Like women, like that's another thing with the whole love interest thing. She was just like, nah. But you can tell in the
She
normal
playing
film.
hard to get the. It's 2020. She playing hard to get in this film.
Oh yeah,
That's how they play these days.
definitely. If it's
And then
2020, shit, yeah.
in
They
the-
make you wait like 4 or 5 years when you meet them and that.
Okay. In the normal film, I feel like she showed more interest to the guy as well. Like in the
Animation.
OG version. Yeah.
in the original film, you can tell that she was the one starting to like the prince rather than
Yep.
him starting to like her.
There were
But-
the gazers.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
gazes, like the little moments here and there. But at the film, you can tell she just wasn't interested. Like she just wasn't interested. She had a mission, and that was her mission. It was
To bring honor to her family.
to her family. And
Yeah.
I like that little thing at the sword at the end when they put that little
The 3
quote.
Chinese
Yes,
characters.
That was like-
real. I think it's bravery, truth, and something else. So those were the 3
Honor-
characters.
Isn't it honor, loyalty, honor?
No, I think
I don't
I
know.
think they're in it. I think they were in it.
Yeah, because
No, there was 3, and then there was 1 at the back, which is the family one.
Yeah.
Oh,
But
yeah,
I
the
don't know.
family.
I don't know what the 3. I forgot. They were full saying it at the camp as well.
Oh, also, that's one thing I do love. To you just piggybacking off that. That's one thing I do love about this remake. The family made it very clear that if we bring Mushu, if we try to expose Mulan, we will all be killed. I'm like, especially back in the day, like the dishonor and everyone, like she'll be slaughtered and will be killed as well.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, that's a reason not to expose anyone. Like
Yeah.
Mulan in the OG version, they kind of made it like dishonor to the family. No, she's gonna die. She will die.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah.
I know it's more heavily touched on in the new one opposed to the old one because values back then were not that
Yeah, and it's still a Disney film as a cartoon, so I guess that's the reason why they didn't like push that in back then.
And maybe you know what, they wanted to be a little bit more serious,
Yeah.
because it's a more realistic film as opposed to a cartoon.
Yes.
Just a thought. I
Yeah.
don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. So
I agree.
So the thing, with Jet Li, the one thing I hate, like, I don't know if anyone else picked this up. If you ever rewatch it, they dubbed Jet Li's voice to make it deeper.
Really?
That's the reason why you guys didn't know that it was Jet Li.
And he was bald.
I don't know, he was
Was he
bald.
bald?
Nah, he was
Bro,
he
I
had
did
white,
not
he had like white
recognize him
hair.
at all.
He
he
was
did-
wearing the emperor uniform,
yeah.
the yellow one.
Yeah.
Did
It was
not
like
recognize
we
him.
shall strike.
Yeah, but he was that was but that was cool. That was one thing that was cool about the film though. Like it wasn't like when you watch the OG version, it's an old man in robes, but when you watch this one, it's like he's been through the war. He's like a war emperor.
Yeah.
Like it's Jet Li, so that was cool because it was like
Yeah, it's very it's very noble, no?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I like that. Yeah, I like that
Noble,
too.
yeah.
yeah, which kind of brings it back to like old epic Chinese adventures. That's like as in like in the when like like in the war battlefield gear.
Yeah, like robes, and then
Yeah,
you got like different guys with swords flying.
yeah.
Horses,
yeah.
horses.
Yeah.
With
Yeah.
a string.
Yeah, with the string.
No,
well, they had that in the new Mulan as well. Remember the first like the rooster, the chasing.
Yeah.
When she climbed up on the roof, and she had this massive grand flip, saving herself moment. But then the rest of the community thought it was an embarrassment because
Yeah.
she was a
A
female.
woman? Yeah.
Yeah, simply
Yeah.
because she was a female.
Yeah.
And that was the main, I guess, problem in the original
In
one
the
as
original,
well.
yeah.
So look, the main aspects were still there. It was great.
Yeah.
And I appreciated that. That's why
Me
I
too.
don't have anything that I specifically hate about the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's just like for like all the Disney fans out there that just really wished like Mushu was in there singing every single thing. Like obviously everyone has different feelings and like emotions when it comes to certain things and certain films. So it's like with Lion King, it's like the same thing. It's like the same concept. It's just a matter of kind of accepting accepting it. But I liked it.
Yeah, no,
I would give it a 7.5. And
Okay.
that's pretty high.
I'm gonna let Jim go at the end of this part, okay? Because you might change your mind. So for me, it'd be a 6 out of 10.
6 out of 10.
6 out of 10.
Okay.
I was gonna say it.
Yeah. What about you?
6 out of 10, and you pay $40, bro.
How do you
Yeah,
know?
that's-
Wait. So okay. So all right.
40
So
smackaroos, bro.
all right. So you wanted to come over and watch it, don't it?
For free. For free. He was gonna come over for free.
So this is the thing that me and Jim had an argument outside of this, right? So the reason why I supported this film and paid for it is because I felt like it was a giant moment for Asian culture because in Hollywood's eyes.
Yeah.
All right? Same thing as Black Panther. People say, is it a black film or not? Yes and no, because it's heavily influenced by black people. Same thing as this movie. And I wanted the same feeling that black people had with Black Panther. And it somewhat was the same thing, somewhat. Obviously, there was a lot of boycotting in it, but there were people, if you look on any of your friends' Instagrams, there were people like, hey, do you want to come over and watch this movie? There was date nights and everything. There was friends watching Mulan. That's what I loved about it. Because it brought
together.
It brought people
together.
together. And
Yeah.
it made it feel special because it's Asian people.
Yeah.
Yes.
And yes, the payoff in my eyes wasn't the greatest for me.
So would you
But-
pay $40? Would you pay $40 if it was in film? Like if it was in the movies?
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I ate a lot of popcorn. I like because I say that. So I say that because when I go to the movie, if you were going to the movies, how much money do you think you would have paid? We had
Like the normal amount. Like what's the normal amount? Like
Yeah, but
$25?
$25.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, sure. I was a student before, so like what, $12?
But you go into the cinema. The thing is, you go into the cinema, and it's a whole different experience because
Exactly.
the screen's bigger.
Bigger, yeah.
You know,
There's-
the
you got
It's
more
an
people.
experience.
Yeah,
It's
the all
not
sensory
just
to it.
watching a
It's
movie.
not watching it on your TV
It's an
where you're already
experience.
paying for that streaming service.
Yeah. So I get that, but
He's always gonna back it up.
that's hard.
Yeah, but I get what you mean.
No. Okay. So this is the thing that like I don't know. Like I've always been the type of person who like I'm gonna use Marvel for example.
Yep.
I love Marvel movies. And I am definitely 100% the type of guy that would go to an Asian store in Blacktown and get an Asian copy for $5. I'm 100% that type of guy.
Yeah.
When it comes to Marvel, though, I've never done that because I love the film series so much. John Wick, for example. John Wick, the first one was definitely pirated. After that, though, no. I loved the film. I bought the DVD and Blu-ray.
And you pay respects by
Yeah.
spending that money
Yeah.
to show.
Because it pushes their content. Because
Yeah.
if you ain't, yes, you can always say you're a fan of something. But if you ain't putting that money in, that's what brings out more different quality. But you know why it's hard for me to argue this point, though? Especially with you, Jem, because you like the film was because the film didn't pay off. If the film was the greatest film in the world,
Fair enough.
you like if it
Yeah.
was like a Black Panther, you'd be like, I
Take
should
my money.
take my
Yeah.
money. But because
Yeah.
it wasn't a Black Panther, you're just like, I wouldn't have paid that much money. But that's you do you though.
I
That's-
think in today's
And
world,
especially with the COVID as well, like, you know, yeah.
I think in today's world, there's other ways to push forward the movie without having to pay for it. There's we're heavily in a digital social media world where if you just talk about it and put up a hashtag, and the more hashtags and the more hype and more people talking about it and putting up on your story, putting it saying, you know, Mulan's, you're doing free advertising for it already. However, say you got 700 followers, you or whatever, and you're talking about it. I'm sure someone's going to watch it and go, okay, I'm going to go watch Mulan now. Free advertising. At the same time, the Curious Canvas right now, we're putting out our content and we're doing a review on this. People are going to watch this and they're going to, some are going to form opinions, some are going to go, oh, I'm going to go watch the movie. So there's other ways of bringing that. And the numbers wise, when you're talking about numbers of actually buying the film, it will look good for Disney.
Yeah.
But when it comes to money wise, I remember you were saying like, I want to support it so that it supports actors and actresses. They're getting paid anyway, right?
I get PK's point though. Like I do get PK's point.
Yeah, me too.
but
I get it too. They're getting paid anyway
yeah, but
because everyone's on Disney Plus. Whoever's on Disney Plus, that money is already there for them. And you're having to pay extra on top of it.
yeah.
But it's for Disney. Disney's a
Multi-
multi-billion
like
dollar
billion.
company.
Okay.
And they're getting revenue from every other aspect, like ESPN, all the other movies,
Everything,
all
yeah,
content that they have, Disney World, Disney Plus, Disneyland, all the little merchandise, everything. So they're getting paid anyway. I think of it that way, but there are other ways where you can push forward the film, be proud of it, everything, because we're in a very digital social media world where you can create content, put it up on YouTube, talk about it. People are gonna watch it.
It's hard for me to argue because it's $40.
Yeah,
So when
$40.
you so like when you said like
Exactly.
when you said like are you willing to pay $40? Oh, it's hard to argue that point because $40 is a lot of money.
No, I get you.
Yeah.
No, but I get you because I'm that.
And you're paying the streaming service already.
Yeah, I'm that. Like, because remember when you first was like, oh, Mulan came out. I'm like, oh, let's go. Like, I was willing to pay the $40 as well. I was willing to pay the $40
And
as well.
we did.
But we.
I like
You suckers.
I get your point though, PK, because I'm that type of person as well that I pay a lot for something that's quality.
worth your money.
Like you know, if it has a story, if it has, you know, we pay for quality food, we pay for quality
Yep.
materials, everything. I get that, but it's the same concept. Like you know, if you're getting the quality, you're getting like how. Okay, so say you're meant like say you're gonna download it or whatever. How are you supposed to know that it's the quality? Like how do you know that it's not cut? Like how do you know that it's not?
You don't.
Yeah, well that's what I mean. Like,
yeah.
but at least with PK, when he pays the 40, you get the full.
He's getting the
service.
full
The
version.
full version.
But I think his is
Friends
different.
and
but
Families
because
on
he
Disney
knows-
Plus,
he
by the
knows-
way.
He knew that.
Shout out Prashnil
Even if-
Prasad.
But I think PK knew that even if he got a version that wasn't off Disney Plus, that it was going to be HD anyway. He knew that it was going to.
Oh,
he
no,
wasn't going that way.
I
He just
yeah.
wanted to support the actors and actresses
So, yeah.
and the whole movie as a whole.
So the reason why I wanted to look at Crazy Rich Asians,
Yeah.
like the main actress, like she's definitely getting pushed. You know why? Crazy Rich Asians did make a lot of money in the box office. And you look at other Asian films that tried doing that, even like, and I love Jackie Chan, but you look at even some of the Jackie Chan films that went on to the American market, besides Rush Hour. Rush Hour's a classic. I ain't dissing that. That's
Yeah,
that's
I
fucking
know what you
classic.
mean. Like
Yeah.
his other
Yeah,
works,
yeah.
like let's
The
say
Shanghai Noon.
Tuxedo.
Yeah, all that.
Yeah.
That made nothing, you
Yeah, I know
know,
what you
and
mean.
it
Karate
didn't.
Kid.
It didn't. Yeah, even that should have made.
Do you know what?
Karate
Okay,
Kid.
I know. I think I know why everyone is a little bit, well, not upset, but just like
It just
disappointed that Disney is charging an extra $40 on top is because it's just because it's ridiculous, and I think they're fully taking advantage of a pandemic right now.
100%. That's exactly what I was going to say.
When everyone may not see it,
Yeah.
but come on, like, why would you need to pay an extra $40 from an individual TV just to watch something? Like, has Netflix ever done that?
So wait, that's the one thing I want to bring this up. Yes, I agree with you with that. The $40 is fucking ridiculous. I'm not saying it's not, but let's just say I'm gonna make it like $10. Okay, let's just say it's $10.
Let's say it's $10. Okay,
let's say $10. It makes it special because no one else has ever done this before. Netflix has never done that before. Disney Plus, no other place has done this before but Disney. That's what made it special because it's a big Hollywood film as well. Because you know what? Because people talk about like this movie must be special if I have to pay for this. Because everything else is free. What am I doing this for?
Well, it's not free because you're paying for the service already.
You're
already paying for the service for all the content that's already on there. So the reason why there's no advertising, I'm talking media now because from work.
Yeah.
The reason why there's no advertising on Disney Plus, Netflix, or all the streaming services is because there's me, $13 a month. $13 a month, $13. You get me.
Again,
you know what I mean?
shout out
all the people
Prashneil.
that are here,
I don't really pay.
but you get what I mean? Like, everyone's already paying per month. They're just getting these residuals every single month. So that's already covered all the expenses of them being able to buy the content to distribute it out. Because they're not, it's not Netflix that is making this movie. Some production company is making it. They're buying the rights and license to it. I'm going to buy the rights and license to this. But Disney's different because Mulan is Disney. It's always been Disney.
So there's no licensing already.
There's no licensing that they have to buy for it. That's all they've all had to generate that Disney's a multi-billion-dollar company. They've got that money already. They put that money into the film, and then they put it and they charge on top of the streaming service $40 for everyone to watch it. So that's why it's a bit, for me, I'm just like, man, that's a bit hefty. Like,
but it is.
It is heavy.
And I'm not
already paying for what
but even if it was $10, I'm not disagreeing with you.
Yeah.
I don't think you're wrong. This is just me because
the support.
Just the support. Because it makes, for me, it does make it a special occasion when people do look, and it gives more eyes on those Asian actors.
For sure.
And
And
to be honest, because if one of those actors goes to a better movie that like gets pushed like to the hills,
For sure.
then I feel like it's not really,
you're a part of it.
a little bit like I'm part of that movement. I feel weird saying
It's
that.
just like when we follow wrestlers and then we're always supporting them.
Oh,
and
like
they
John
get
Cena and The Rock.
pushed.
Yeah, like when The Rock. When you look at The Rock, we were a part of that.
For
Because
sure.
we were, you know why? Because we were part of the people.
For sure. And then he
bro.
went into
One share goes a long way.
for sure. One share for
Yes.
any.
Yeah.
You guys
share
share the
someone's-
Curious
this
Canvas.
episode?
Exactly.
Yeah.
You
A lot
share
of people see
someone's
that.
content and someone else sees it, but you may not know that they're seeing
seeing it,
and they contact that person,
Yeah.
Bro.
and it's like you made
Yes.
business
Right now.
happen.
It
It's the
means
same
that-
thing
it
with
does.
Sharing
you
is
You're right.
powerful.
willing to pay for the $40.
Yeah.
It does go
It does
a long
mean a lot.
way as well.
You're right
because-
there.
Yeah.
You're definitely right there because me and PK and with Start Summit and with Curious Canvas, it means a lot when we're walking down the street and someone's pulled us randomly and just gone, "Hey, you guys doing well with your podcast?" But like we know of them, but
Yeah.
we're not friends.
Yeah.
You know, like that.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know, people.
Yeah, there was one guy at the
when
gym
I-
that just randomly just like, oh, like I saw your podcast, like it was actually pretty good. I'm like, what the hell are you? just like, oh,
Shout out to that guy.
I'm friends with Jim. I'm like, okay,
Right.
That's
Or
cool.
when we were at the bar here and a friend of a friend was just like, "Hey, you guys are doing well with your podcast and everything," and I'm just like, I didn't even.
And boys, that's why you guys are on episode 10. So congratulations again.
That's it, episode 10. All right, well, that was the Curious Canvas.
That was a great episode. I enjoyed the perspective of not just we talk all the time. Everyone listen to us, but I'm glad that. Thank you for coming in.
No, it's been my pleasure.
We get like a
having
Australian-born Chinese background perspective, and we get Chelsie. Thank you for coming as well because we get a female perspective.
Strong
Yes,
female
absolutely.
perspective.
Strong
Thank you.
Female perspective. If you guys want to follow them on Instagram, at Bigaruda, that's his photography.
Hit me.
Yeah, Instagram.
DM him.
DM me.
He's single.
Is that all your
Thank
handles?
you. That's my handle, Big Eruta, BIGERUTA.
TA. Yep.
Wow, what a
And-
plug.
And to follow Chelsea's,
Chelsie Robertson at Chelsie Robertson.
yeah, and she's got things going on as well in the near future, so you can follow all her journey and stories as well. And you can always follow us
And PK is still single. That's
at
that's what I'm saying.
PK Fire,
PK Fire.
PK_Fire. But thank you
No
guys for
comment on
coming.
PK.
That was a great episode. You guys check out Mulan on Disney Plus, $40. If you
40
$40 if you're down.
No, but
Or
it is
you
good.
can
It is a good
hit-
film though.
Yeah. All in all, a great film. A great modern film, I should say.
yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
Thanks for coming.
I agree. Thank you.
Love guys.
Thanks for having us.
I wasn't sure if we're gonna do the handshake because I was like, there's too many people. I'm like, high fives.
And brag.
Master, I don't think you quite realize what you've got here. So why don't you just ruminate